Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Vichana Baba Girivardhari Vichana Baba Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Nandana Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Nandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so we're reading Nectar instruction. Reading Nectar instruction, we're starting on verse 4. Okay, anyway, text 4. Sanskrit. This verse is about the 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. Dadati pratigrinati bhuyamakyati pritchati mukte bhojayate shaiva Sadvidang Pratilakshanam Dadati Pratigrinati Kuyamakati Prichati Mukte Bojayate Chaiva Shadvidang Pratilakshanam Dadati Pratigrinati Kuyamakati Prichati Mukte Bojayate Chaiva Shadvidang Pratilakshanam Dadati Pratigrinati Kuyamakati Prichati Mukte Bojayate Chaiva Shadvidang Pratilakshanam Dadati Pratigrinati Kuyamakati Prichati Mukte Bojayate Chaiva Shadvidang Pratilakshanam Dadati Pratigrinati Kuyamakati Prichati Mukte Bojayate Chaiva Shadvidang Pratilakshanam Dadati Pratigrinati Kuyamakati Prichati Mukte Bojayate Chaiva Shadvidang Pratilakshanam Dadati Pratigrinati Kuyamakati Prichati Mukte Bojayate Chaiva Shadvidang Pratilakshanam Dadati Pratigrinati Kuyamakati Prichati Mukte Bojayate Chaiva Shadvidang Pratilakshanam. Word for word synonyms. Dadati, gifts and charity. Or giving, I'm sorry, give charity. Pratigrinati, accepts in return. Guyam, confidential topics. Akyati, explains. Prichati, inquires. Bhukte, eats. Bojayante, feeds. Cha, also. Eva, Eva, certainly. Shadvidam, 6 kinds. Priti, of love. Lakshanam, symptoms. Offering gifts in charity accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, and inquiring confidentially. Accepting prasad and offering prasad are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another.
Перевод. Относиться к внимательно, проверять свои мысли, спрашивать проверку, принимать посадку, прощать посадку. Таковы 6 проверенных людей, которые преданно
Purport. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami explains how to perform devotional activities in the association of other devotees.
комментарий. В этом стихе Шрила Рупа с вами объясняет, как заниматься этим служением.
There are 6 kinds of activities. 1, giving charity to the devotees. 2, accepting from the devotees whatever they may offer in return. 3, opening one's mind to the devotees. 4, inquiring from them about the confidential service of the Lord. 5, honoring prasad or spiritual food given by the devotees. And 6, feeding the devotees with prasad.
Есть 6 видов деятельности. Первое – относиться к преданным. Вторая – принимать и принять собственный дарственный ответ. Третье – проверять свои мастерство, правда, и сохранение своего. Пятое – прочитать просадки, которые прощать просадки.
An experienced devotee explains, and an inexperienced devotee learns from him.
Опытный преданный объясняет, как учить смысл отличия.
This is Guyam Akyati Prichati.
Такого смысла слова прямо опять.
The devotee distributes prasad, remnants of food offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In order to maintain our spirit of devotional service, we must accept this prasad as the Lord's grace received through the pure devotees. We should also invite pure devotees to our home, offer them prasad, and be prepared to please them in all respects. This is called bhumte, or bhumte bojayate shaiva. Even Shishigornitai, Shishirada Vajrinari, Jagannath, Balaram, Subhadra, Ki Jai. Even in the ordinary social activities, these 6 types of dealings between 2 loving friends are absolutely necessary. For instance, when one businessman wishes to contact another businessman, he arranges a feast in a hotel, and over the feast openly expresses what he wishes to do. He then inquires from his business friend how he should act, and sometimes presents are exchanged. Thus, whenever there is a deal of priti, whenever there is a dealing of priti or love and intimate dealings, these 6 activities are executed. In the previous verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advised that one should renounce worldly association and keep company with devotees. Sangha Chagat Sato Vrite.
Предыдущий субъект шел Богослав советовал избегать мирского общения и отчета только свету, сам не является что-то.
Lost my spot here. What was that? What was the last thing I just read? What's the last thing I just read? Okay. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness has been established to facilitate these 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees. This society was started single-handedly, but because people are coming forward and dealing with the give and take policy, the society is now expanding all over the world. We are glad that people are donating very liberally to the development of the society's activities, and people are also so eagerly accepting whatever humble contributions we can give them in the shape of books and magazines dealing strictly with the subject matter of Krishna consciousness. We sometimes hold Hare Krishna festivals and invite life members and friends to participate in the feasting by accepting prasad. Although most of our members come from the higher rungs of society, they nonetheless come and take whatever little prasad we are able to offer them. Sometimes the members and supporters inquire very confidentially about the method of performing devotional service, and we try to explain it. In this way, our society is successfully preaching all over the world, and the intelligentsia of all countries is gradually appreciating our Krishna conscious activities. The understanding of Krishna consciousness is innate in every living entity, and it is already developed to some extent when the living entity takes a human body. It is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 22, verse 107, Nityasita Krishna Prema Satya Karunai Shravanani Sudachite Karaye Hridoy. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of living entities, It is not something to be gained from other source.
Когда Амрика говорится, любовь к Кришне, правильно, она не относится к такой вещи, как когда сердце Кришны слушает воспевание, это любовь обладает самостоятельно.
The heart is purified by hearing and chanting, the living entity naturally awakens.
Сознание Кришны присутствует в сердце Воспевания, поэтому раз полный
So this is Srila Prabhupada says that these 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees, the same general practice is existing within the material realm also.
Вот он объясняет, что 6 любовных взаимоотношений, которые преданных, это как раз те практики, которые существуют в мире.
Because in the material world, if you have a friend, maybe a business partner, you have someone you have to deal with. If you want to be nice, then you do certain things. You may give a gift, or you accept a gift.
Подобно тому, как, например, если у вас есть какой-то друг или партнер, где нужно просто наладить отношения, помогать, и он начинает это.
And if you are you can give a gift, or you can ask some confidential question, private question, or listen to someone else revealing their mind about some question.
И если, например, он задает какой-то личный, сокровенный вопрос, то таким образом он открывает свое сердце.
So, of course, Srila Prabhupada has said many times in the association of devotees, we have to, well, first of all, we must associate with devotees. If you want to practice Krishna consciousness, you must associate with devotees.
И Шрила Прабхупада объяснял много раз, что для того, чтобы развиваться в Кришне, мы должны общаться с
If we want to become Krishna conscious, we cannot just be by ourselves and have no contact with others who are practicing, which is not possible.
Если мы хотим стать совместными Кришны, то нам необходимо общаться с преданными. Возможно, что мы сами разумеется, но можем стать преданными.
And Srila Prabhupada, and for those who may think that maybe maybe it's too much problematic to stay in association of the devotees, so therefore I'll be independent, and I'll become Krishna conscious, but I'll be independent of everyone else.
Если кто-то, например, испытывает какие-то сложности в взаимоотношениях с преданными, то это можно подумать, что вот, все, я не буду с ними общаться, я сам стану преданным.
But Srila Prabhupada has said very strongly that if we want to become Krishna conscious, we must always stay in the association of devotees.
Но Шрила Прабхупада очень сильно говорит, что если вы хотите быть настоящим Кришной, то вы должны
And in the association of devotees, naturally we engage in devotional service.
и общение с преданными действительно означает, что мы естественно занимаемся
Srila Prabhupada also says if you think, if you speculate that you can become Krishna conscious outside of the association of devotees, you are living in an hallucination.
Шрила Прабхупада говорит, что если кто-то думает, что он может раскрыть сознание Кришны
So, of course, Srila Prabhupada, or Srila Rupa Goswami rather, these, these, these six kinds of loving exchanges, um, two of them means you're offering prasad and you're accepting prasad. Sometimes regarding prasadam, someone may say, "Oh, so and so is cooking the offering today for Krishna, and and I don't happen to like that person, so I will refuse to eat anything they cook." And and that is actually that is wrong. That goes against what Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Prabhupada are teaching here. If someone comes and cooks for Krishna, especially in the temple, someone comes and cooks for Lord Krishna, and we're thinking, I don't like them, or they're too low class for me, so therefore I'm not going to accept prasadam that they cook. And so the attitude of refusing uh, means that you're refusing on that basis, then it is one activity which is unfavorable for advancing a spiritual life. And it creates a bad feeling between devotees. Oh, I cooked, and they're rejecting because I cooked. And then the side who's cooking or well, cook the temple means basically cooking, but cooking or who's has some prasad you're offering it. If you offer to if if you cook who is offering the prasad in that sense sees that others are refusing to accept, then it feels it's a big discouragement, lack of the opposite of the loving exchange. It's a big discouragement for those who are offering, and it's also a bad feelings from those who are refusing to accept on that basis. That makes sense? If someone is say cooking an offering for Krishna, but someone else says, "Oh, I don't like that person, so therefore I'm going to show I don't like them because I'm not going to eat anything that they cook." Like that. So that's the opposite attitude of what we're reading about here. So that's bad. It is bad feeling unfavorable for spiritual life. if you're offering and somebody is refusing, and for who is refusing, it's also bad. That attitude is just not favorable uh, for becoming Krishna conscious.
И для того, кто отвергает принимать просадки, это тоже является неблагоприятным, потому что
Right? So we have um, offering prashadi and offering and accepting it. And the other exchanges mentioned here, um, you give a gift or you receive a gift, and the same principle. If someone is giving you in good feeling is offering you some gift, a Krishna conscious gift, and you accept it, then the loving exchange is there.
и следующее,
And if you, for some reason, refuse to accept the gift that is being offered to you um, out of some bad feelings, if you refuse it, then it creates an atmosphere which is unfavorable for uh, association of devotees and favorable before becoming Krishna conscious.
если кто-то отвергает, не хочет принимать, да, это тоже благоприятно,
And the last two out of six of these loving exchanges are inquiring confidentially and speaking confidentially.
И последние два вида отношений, это говорить это, спрашивать о сокровенном, проявлять свои
Confidential speaking and hearing means, for example, someone may come to maybe someone who's more experienced in Krishna consciousness, say like, oh, I kind of like this idea of Krishna consciousness. How can I practically apply it to my life? Can you explain this to me? And it's inquiring confidentially.
И вот это вот сокровенный разговор, слушание, это тоже когда требует друг друга, объяснение, каким образом интересно сохранить.
And and then the other side, if someone has inquired from the devotee who's speaking, he will speak confidentially, meaning I'm this is something private for you. It's not a lecture. It's not, I'm speaking confidentially, giving some advice or information that you're privately asking for. This is a confidential exchange.
Также сокровенным считается то, когда кто-то спрашивает нас о том, каким образом напрягаться, мы говорим, даем какие-то советы, рекомендации. Но это не то, что вам помогало, это просто такое сокровенное.
And if we try to we've had some bad experience in these loving exchanges didn't work out, and we think, okay, now I will be independent stay away from the devotees. Then there's no two people and no conflict, no bad feelings, no feelings.
И кто-то может подумать, если что тогда уже все видео где-то себе, потому что если нет общения, то нет конфликтных переживаний, это решить.
But if we avoid or reject the association of devotees, then sooner or later we will end up becoming engaged in associating with non-devotees. And which means we give up the association of devotees. We give up the association of devotees. And that is definitely not favorable for spiritual life. And but it's the nature of the soul, and especially it's actually the nature of every living entity to be in association of others. Even the animals, they tend to stay together in groups if they can. So, if a devotee, someone who gave up the path of Krishna consciousness, their natural tendency will be, if I don't have Krishna conscious association, then I will have association with someone else outside of Krishna consciousness. And then the 6 kinds of loving exchanges will be there also. You'll find someone who you'll give them some gift at some point in receiving something from them. You may go out together to out to dinner or go out and eat, or you may accept the invitation to go out to dinner. And you may inquire confidentially about something in their lives, and they may tell you something confidential. But the difficulty is, say, like in the confidential exchanges between people, non-devotees. The difficulty is that is more intimately associating with non-devotees. Which is not favorable. We will become intimately associated with them. Then it will cause us to degrade our consciousness to something outside of Krishna consciousness. So developing close relationship with someone, and you may start hearing about um, their illicit activities, or we would call it illicit activities. You may, you start developing, listening confidentially to someone will means that the devotee, or devotee, someone who was a devotee, trying to become a devotee, he may listen, and then it'll change his consciousness away from Krishna consciousness. That is the danger. So, to reiterate, the the 6 kinds of loving exchanges between devotees is very important. And if we don't follow them, if we don't engage in those relationships, then we'll still engage those relationships, but with non-devotees, and that will be not favorable for spiritual life. Are there any questions? Life member? There was a life member program, which I guess is probably still going on. Life the life membership program, when it was being done, and maybe it's still being done, was the person who likes Krishna consciousness, if they give some particular donation to the society, they become a life member, and the devotees will give. I'm not sure now, but in the beginning it was, you were getting a whole set of Srila Prabhupada's books. You were getting a lifetime subscription to Back to Godhead. You were getting allowed to stay for a few days in any temple where they had facility to stay, right? Prasadam. Well, yeah, everybody gets prasadam, but that also. These are some of the benefits that were in the original life membership program. Does that answer the question? Yes. Anyone else? Any other questions? No. Okay, so we'll end for today. tomorrow back on Srimad Bhagavatam, continuing with the Parashuram, the chapters of Parashuram. Yeah, we just started that chapter. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.